Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. Let's do the whole darn weekend. Saturday, December the 26th is National Candy Cane Day, National Thank You Note Day, National Winers Day, which is not a good thing, and then Boxing Day in Canada. And then the 27th of December, National Fruitcake Day.
Okay.
Which I think that's the day everybody bakes a fruitcake for next year.
It must be. I only tried one once, and it was a store-bought one, so I have no idea if I would really like a real one or not.
I worked at a grocery store for like 4 years, and we never had to restock fruitcakes.
Which is a little concerning that they were even still there.
I was like, yeah.
How long can they stay
Use
on
them as a
shelf?
doorstop, whatever. All of that stuff happening this weekend. And I've got a couple of guests joining me today. They've got a new book out. It's called Welded, and it's Pastor Derrik and Pastor Jay. And they're the two guys that met each other and started working together. Now they have a book together. I'm excited to chat all about this new book and what they're up to.
Addiction. It's not a pretty thing. Addiction can lead to many problems in your life. Addiction can drive away those who love you the most. And addiction can lead to the loss of jobs, relationships, and even your life. Don't let addiction tear your life apart anymore. Get the help you need to defeat addiction and put the pieces back together in your life. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. They want to help. Timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. 9 in 10 Americans do not trust other drivers to stay safe on the road in the winter. That extends to our loved ones, too. Almost to a quarter, 23%, avoid riding with family and friends during the winter because they don't trust their driving. Survey asked adults about cold weather behind the wheel. 91% is the number of drivers that don't think others on the road know how to drive safely in the winter. And for me, it's usually like early in the winter is when I'm concerned. Later, it's like, okay, you're probably used to it by now, but not everybody.
Well, yeah. It totally depends on
Different skill
where
set.
you're at, too, what part of the country. Because in like Vegas, we were there one time when they got snow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was a nightmare.
They had like not even a quarter of a minute. It was dusting, and there were cars smashing into each other.
Yeah.
And
It was bad.
It was crazy.
So I think it depends on where you're at.
Yeah, probably. And according to a new poll conducted by OnePoll on behalf of Apple Vacations, a recent study finds 84% of Americans say they dearly miss traveling. Study also says the average American has gone 14 months now without traveling due to COVID. So there you go.
Apple Vacations, by the way.
Good people.
Awesome company.
Yeah.
Highly
Heidi
recommend
she
them.
was a travel agent for years.
Yep.
Surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com.
Do you have a credit card? We'd like to help you get a better credit card. If you don't have any credit cards, we'd like to help you too. At BetterCreditCards.com, we have credit cards that offer different things for different people. Some cards offer points. Some cards are designed to help you build your credit. BetterCreditCards.com wants to help you get a better credit card, no matter what you're looking for. See if we can help you find a better credit card at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com.
This is Your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by TimeForRehab.com. A Massachusetts native, now living in Florida, was arrested for allegedly battering a partially disabled victim. Why? Because they disagreed about a football or some sort of team in Boston. It just says about liking teams from Boston.
Okay.
59-year-old Jeffrey Randall was engaged with the victim in an argument about sports when the men were inside the residence in Florida, and the victim disagreed with him about liking teams from Boston. He became physically aggressive, pushed the victim twice in the chest. The victim is partially disabled, unable to defend himself. They arrested him on misdemeanor battery charge and also on disorderly intoxication, probation violation, theft convictions. Oh, he's got all kinds of stuff on the list.
You would think there would be a more serious charge for going after
Yeah, you'd think so. But
even a minor or a
person
disabled
that's disabled,
somebody
yeah,
who
I
just
know.
can't defend themselves against you. That should be a more severe charge.
it should be. It's a bad idea. But that is what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Kylie Jenner was shopping when a group of animal rights activists approached her on Saturday, and they called her a monster.
Okay, why?
Jenner was leaving
Was she wearing fur?
Montclair a store that sells luxury coats with fur.
Okay.
She was in Beverly Hills when she encountered this group of protesters. We went to Beverly Hills little less than a year ago. Did we go by Montclair?
Probably.
Yeah, we walked by a lot of things that we didn't go into.
Yeah.
I went into one place. What was the place? It was on Rodeo Drive.
Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, because I said, is this Louis Vuitton?
Yeah.
Anyway, Cameo CEO. Yeah, I thought it was funny. Cameo CEO apologizes for disclosing how much Larry Thomas, the actor who played the Soup Nazi, is making on Cameo. So he had talked about, hey, he's doing really well.
Oh, I think that's fantastic.
And there are people that are hiring him, and that now all of a sudden...
I didn't even know he was on there. I would hire the
There's a lot of blowback because people are going, why would you hire him? And he's going, I probably shouldn't have even mentioned it. Now it's like a whole thing. But I'll bet he's probably selling more videos now because like Heidi just said...
I didn't even know he was there. That's pretty cool. That would be super cool to get one from the Soup Nazi.
And the big thing is the name, Soup Nazi. Guys, it's just a character. It was a joke, and it was very funny, but they called him that in a derogatory way. It's not like they're praising that, so... I don't know.
It was hilarious.
People have gone insane online about it. Big screen, little screen, brought to you.
Insane online about literally everything.
Everybody just calm down. Big screen, little screen, brought to you by channelsurfertv.com.
At WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com, we help you get ready for all the fun holidays throughout the year with fun, silly, and just plain weird gift ideas for your friends. If you have a friend who has a bizarre sense of humor, we've got a gift for them. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com posts a link to something that will make you smile each and every day. Whether you buy these weird gifts or not, it's worth checking out just for a smile. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. That's WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
Now your scoop of the day comes your way courtesy of giftcardchallenge.org. In Russia, an unidentified man stole a nice-looking car from a repair shop. Thought I'm going to go out for a little test drive, right? Revving it up, going pretty fast, and he realized, oh no, there's no brakes. That's why it was in the repair shop.
Oh, man.
He sailed through a couple of traffic lights and then crashed into another car. Police helped him from the wreckage and hauled him off to jail. So, yeah, he stole the wrong car there.
Yeah.
Do you end text messages with periods? If so, stop it. According to researchers, college students did this. They did a research project on this. Conversations presented on a phone through handwritten notes. That's what they were looking at. Okay. And if they had handwritten notes and there was a period, that was fine. But if you typed a text and you put punctuation, they said that was not good.
No.
They felt like it was not sincere.
What?
Yeah, I don't know.
That is the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard in my life.
Subject, period. It's not my... I didn't do this, exclamation point.
I think it's just because these college students are too lazy to put in punctuation.
Do you have a problem, question mark?
Exactly.
All right. New York City Subway announced plans to increase fares next year. The fare increase is going to arrive in February. The website Straight Dope dates practice of fasting to combat fever. So, like when you say starve a fever,
sure,
drink a cold, what is it? What is it called? Starve a... Clearly, I don't know what it is.
Feed a cold, starve a fever.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
So how long have we been doing that, Heidi? How long do you think that's been around?
Oh, my gosh, my whole life.
Well, and many, many more. 1574. Yeah. It goes all the way back that far. Evidence is far from conclusive. Can't talk. Evidence is far from conclusive. Colds and flus are caused by viruses. Your body needs energy to fight them. They say if you have this, stay home, eat light, healthy foods when you're hungry, and drink lots of fluids. So they're saying... according to this, there's some logic to this, but...
So in other words, this was kind of a pointless break.
Pretty much. And one last thing here. 'Tis the season to be dumped. If you made it through December this far, and you're still together, you're probably doing okay. Because the easy out dates to break up with somebody are December 10th, December 11th, and December 12th.
Why?
Because statisticians looked at... That's another... Just pretend like I said that word, right? They looked at thousands of breakup messages to see when did this happen. And it was a few weeks before Christmas. So that way, I don't have to get you a gift. And I don't feel guilty because you got me something nice. So then if that's
the case, I would assume it's the same thing around Valentine's Day.
But this is the big one.
Okay.
This is the big one. If you make it through December, these are the biggest days to get dumped. December 10, 11, and 12. So if you're still together, that you guys might just be together forever. Or at least till next December. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.
Early to bed, early to rise makes you healthy, wealthy, and wise. This is a great quote from Benjamin Franklin. At InsuranceChicken.com, we know a thing or two about great quotes. We help people get great insurance quotes every day. It's super simple and free to find out if we can make you healthy, wealthy, and wise. Okay, I can't guarantee that, but I can assure you we'd love to help at InsuranceChicken.com. We want to help you pack out great deals on insurance. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend. We've got not one, but two guests today. We have on the line with us the co-authors of Welded, Forming Racial Bonds That Last. We have Derrik Hawkins and Jay Stewart. Let's get started with Derrik. How long have the two of you known each other?
I've known Pastor Jay since 2014. And so going on 6.5, 7 years now, we've developed a relationship that was centered around friendship, mentorship, and now fathering. And so we've been knowing each other for the course of these last few years, and we've developed such a great relationship. And I believe it exudes throughout the book, Welded, Forming Racial Bonds That Last.
Now let's visit with Jay Stewart. Pastor Stewart, the two of you actually work together now, right?
Yeah, that's correct. So I'm the founding and lead pastor of the Refuge Church just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. And Derrik is our campus pastor for the Refuge Greensboro, which is about 70 miles away. And we merged our churches back in 2016. And it became clear then God just wanted to use us to write a better narrative in the midst of so much division going on in our nation.
So now let's talk about how this all came together.
It actually started with me taking my daughter to get her hair done on a Saturday morning. Didn't want to leave the comforters of my couch, and my wife begged me and kind of scolded me for doing it at the same time. So I took my daughter to get her hair done in a city called Salisbury, North Carolina, where I was born and raised. Pastor Jay had a campus that they had planted in Salisbury, North Carolina, in my home city. I called the number, but it doesn't lead me to Salisbury. It leads me to Kannapolis, Concord area, and the receptionist connects me with their graphic designer. He invites me back to a service, banning lectures there, preaching on revival, and then I meet Pastor Jay in the concourse, and from there, we exchanged information. He's going out for about a month, and then we started meeting once he gets back every month for 1 year and a half to develop the backdrop. But I had never experienced the presence of God like I experienced when I was at church, at the Refuge Church in Kannapolis, and I'm telling you, it blew my mind, and God has wrecked my life, and now God is writing a better narrative through that story.
I love that. Now, Pastor Stewart, tell me, how in the world did you guys decide to do a book together?
Well, going back to 2016, John, when we made the announcement about merging our churches, ours was a large mega church. Derrik was taking over a church in Greensboro. And so we merged our churches, and then less than 48 hours later, there was a police-involved shooting in Charlotte. Charlotte just broke into all these riots and protests and was on the national news. And then God thrust our story of the merger into the national spotlight. And so not long after that, we really felt like it was a story that needed to get out. We started writing the book in 2017. It got pushed to the back burner for different reasons. And then this year we were able to continue writing, landed a book deal, and now, as of yesterday, the book is all across the nation. It's getting great responses, great reviews, and we really feel like God's going to use it to bring a lot of healing to the nation.
I love that. Pastor Hawkins, let's talk about unity. Do you think unity could be universal?
I think unity can be possible. Pastor Jay has an analogy that he'll share. I share from the perspective of Ephesians 4, chapter 3, verse 3. It says that we have to make every effort to preserve unity. So I think that what we can do, unity takes effort. Is it possible? Yes. For those individuals who make a conscious effort to not only create it, we can't create it, but we can protect it and preserve unity. And there's so many false narratives in our media, so many things going on in our culture that will say unity is not possible. But man, I beg to differ. Our story is an example of what God can do when we allow God to be the center of our lives and everything, and then seek to look out of our own echo chambers. And I believe that God can do something so much bigger than what we know.
I agree. And back to Pastor Stewart, what would you say true community looks like?
Well, I think we see a picture of it in Psalm 133 that says how good and pleasant it is when brothers dwell together in unity. So it's not uniformity that we're after. We celebrate our differences.
Again, our guests this weekend have been pastors Derrik Hawkins and Jay Stewart. They're also co-authors of Welded, Forming Racial Bonds That Last. I've got a link to the book in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Addiction. It's not a pretty thing. Addiction can lead to many problems in your life. Addiction can drive away those who love you the most. And addiction can lead to the loss of jobs, relationships, and even your life. Don't let addiction tear your life apart anymore. Get the help you need to defeat addiction and put the pieces back together in your life. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. They want to help. Timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Linguine. You ever heard that word?
I have.
What do you think it means?
I think it's a pasta.
It is a pasta, but what is the literal meaning of the word, the Italian word linguine?
I don't know.
It means little tongues.
Oh.
So linguine pastas, they think look like little tongues, so they call it little tongues or linguine.
Okay.
I
I like linguine better.
Linguine sound...
Would you like some little tongues?
No, thanks. I'm fasting. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Do you have a credit card? We'd like to help you get a better credit card. If you don't have any credit cards, we'd like to help you too. At bettercreditcards.com, we have credit cards that offer different things for different people. Some cards offer points. Some cards are designed to help you build your credit. Bettercreditcards.com wants to help you get a better credit card, no matter what you're looking for. See if we can help you find a better credit card at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Now, a news headline from somewhere in this world, Dateline France. Just 2 weeks after it was announced that China was developing biologically enhanced super soldiers. Remember talking about that a couple weeks ago? France has now joined the fray. They're also working on creating Terminator troops that can be bred to kill. I think it's really funny. Online, somebody said, will they instinctively have white flags?
I was just going to say, France has to have robots to do it because they won't do it
Well, they're
themselves.
not robots. These are people. They're talking about, like, actually breeding people to have certain genetic characteristics to be a soldier.
Really?
That's what they're doing in China, too. That's what the story was.
I thought it was like
no, it's not robots.
genetically engineered.
No, yeah. Biologically enhancing super soldiers. Which all of this sounds like a terrible idea.
A really bad idea.
I just get a feeling we should put out a movie right now and show how this ends. So somebody start writing that script. Or maybe it's already out. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
At WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com, we help you get ready for all the fun holidays throughout the year with fun, silly, and just plain weird gift ideas for your friends. If you have a friend who has a bizarre sense of humor, we've got a gift for them. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com posts a link to something that will make you smile each and every day. Whether you buy these weird gifts or not, it's worth checking out just for a smile. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. That's WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
Now some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. An Instagram star who uses makeup and editing to make herself look like a zombie Angelina Jolie. She was sentenced to a decade in an Iranian prison.
Oh, why?
19-year-old Sahar Tabar, whose real name is Fatima, I don't even know how to say this.
Okay.
She has 500,000 followers, posting images of her very eerie, gaunt-looking face. And again, she's using makeup, and it says also some online editing to make this all happen. But her lawyer confirmed that his client was sentenced to 10 years in prison, charged with corruption of young people and disrespect for the Islamic Republic.
What?
Also charged with blasphemy and inciting violence when she was arrested in October of last year.
Oh, my gosh.
With 3 other Instagram influencers. She's cleared of those charges. Iranian state broadcasted her confession back in October. So I don't know what's going on, but I saw the photos, and she kind of looks like her, but it's because she's trying really hard to look like her. But it's just a very bizarre story, and we take for granted our freedom of speech. She said something that their government didn't like. She goes to prison for 10 years.
That we have for now.
Be very careful. Weird news right there. Brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh, brought to you by timeforrehab.com. Police say a Michigan man who became very angry when he was told that his direct deposit had not cleared yet took out his anger on the bank, throwing a heavy animal trap and concrete chunks through their windows.
Gosh.
Yeah.
He bring these things with him to the bank?
Well, he didn't have them in his pocket. They were out in his truck. 51-year-old Stephen Lee Wallace, December 4th is when he was arraigned. 2 felony counts of malicious destruction of property. He was arrested for throwing various heavy items through the windows of Chase Bank in Ann Arbor, Michigan. This happened at 9:45 a.m. So at first I was thinking, was he like liquored up? And I guess maybe it could be at 9:45. But it sounds more like he was just really angry. He tried to use the ATM, and it wasn't working. So then he went inside and he was talking to them and found out that, well, your direct deposit still hasn't cleared. And he wanted to get some money out, and they wouldn't let him get money out. So he got mad enough to break their windows with an animal trap and a bunch of chunks of concrete. He got to go to prison for 5 years and a $10,000 fine. So that's a bad idea. That's why it's today's moment of duh.
Early to bed, early to rise makes you healthy, wealthy, and wise. This is a great quote from Benjamin Franklin. At InsuranceChicken.com, we know a thing or two about great quotes. We help people get great insurance quotes every day. It's super simple and free to find out if we can make you healthy, wealthy, and wise. Okay, I can't guarantee that, but I can assure you we'd love to help at InsuranceChicken.com. We want to help you peck out great deals on insurance. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Time now for fake news or Florida. Heidi, tell me, is this a true story from the great state of Florida, or is it fake news made up to trick you and amuse me? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Fake news or Florida? Florida man bitten by a shark and then walked home bleeding. Fake news or Florida?
I'll say Florida.
It is a true story. He got home, his wife, or it says a woman there,
real bad,
called 911. He had to be taken to the hospital. 39-year-old man bitten on his hand and his arm. He was bleeding profusely, but he had to walk home. I don't know if he had to walk there.
He must have been kind of in a remote area if nobody stopped to help him along the way.
Yeah, but if you saw a dude walking along,
or
with
maybe
a bloody...
he lived right on the beach and he was walking literally up the beach.
That's true. It doesn't say how far. I was thinking miles, but now that it could have literally been right.
Could have been right there.
His back door. Thanks for listening. I fell for this one. Hook, line, and sinker. Fake news or Florida on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news. I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of giftcardchallenge.org. And I want to remind you, it's not too late to be a blessing in someone's life with that. Again, giftcardchallenge.org. And speaking of being a blessing, you know the name Mackenzie Scott? You know who that is?
No.
Have you ever heard the name of Jeff Bezos?
Yes.
So that's his ex-wife.
Oh, okay.
So Mackenzie Scott, ex-wife of Jeff Bezos, has donated $4 billion to help people who've been affected by the pandemic.
Well,
it's a lot of dough.
Big of her. I mean, she's got the money. So.
Well, I understand. But you know what? She didn't have to.
No, she didn't have to.
So I think hats off to her. And
that's awesome. I think that's great. I do.
You're not even joining me in clapping for the lady? $4 billion. Not $4 million. $4 billion. Anyway, she's given away, it's like $4.2 billion to 384 different organizations over the last 4 months, different organizations that were struggling. And there was a team of advisors that she reached out to and said, hey, can you help me make sure that we're making these go to places that'll have a really good impact?
Yeah, see, that's the thing that concerns me is they went to organizations instead of directly to people.
No, but these went to organizations that feed people. They went to organizations that help people.
But how big is the CEO's salary at those organizations? And those are the kinds of things that bother me. I mean, if you're really helping people, are you helping people or are you helping yourself?
She continues her quest to give away as much of her wealth since her $38 billion divorce settlement with Jeff Bezos. That's the reason Heidi hasn't divorced me, by the way. We're still married. I've been married almost 21 years, by the way, which is pretty cool.
We haven't hit the $1 billion mark yet.
She cannot afford to divorce me, because right now, if she divorced me, you get nothing. Like, you get half of what do I have?
I couldn't afford to do anything to help
you. Get the other half of this
point.
cup of coffee right here. Is what you get. That's my plan in life. Stay broke. Then I'm not really worth killing. I'm not worth divorcing. I mean, it's not worth much. All right, time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. If you'd like to read that good news story, I do have a link to it in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.